What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to be looking at the Bade Titan. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so what we're going to be doing today with the Bade Titan is we're going to be doing some size comparisons, profile, and weight. Then we'll jump into my thoughts and impressions. Let's kick it off with a couple of budget knife comparisons. Here are my usuals. This one very comparable to the Benchmade Bugout if you have one of those. It is the Miguron Moyarl, very good medium-sized EDC. It's a great size and weight for carry. Here it is against the Civivi Bull Tusk, which is a little bit more fuller in size, got a little bit more girth and a little bit more length on there. And you can see the Bade Titan is a little guy. It's a little chunker. Let's go ahead and move the Moyarl to the side. We'll bring it back out here for profile comparison, and we'll get the Bull Tusk out of the way as well. Let's go ahead and bring in a couple of American folders for comparison. A little bit smaller here than everything else we've brought out so far. Here's your Spyderco Para 3 Lightweight. And then we got the Spyderco Shaman for your full-size comparison. I do have some alternative recommendations that are a little bit closer to the size, because to me this is like a pouch knife, fifth pocket knife, so definitely a little bit smaller. We're going to move the Shaman and the Para 3. We're going to do some profile comparisons now. Let's close up the Titan, little Titan. And you can see very comparable to the Para 3. I like this comparison a lot. I think it does... the thickness measures up very well to the Para 3 for sure. 100%. Let's bring the Moyarl out here because this one's a little bit more chunky than the Titan, which is pretty ironic because the Titan is pretty chunky as is. So there you go. And then we'll go ahead and grab the scale. Let's check the weight on this one because I'm actually kind of curious myself to see where this one comes out. My Sharpie just rolled away. The Titan coming in at 4.2 ounces. So it's a heavy knife for a little guy, and that has a lot to do with the thickness of the knife. Let's go ahead and jump into my thoughts and impressions. Oh, I did forget to do profile, one more profile comparison. Here you go. Here's how it looks in thickness. So you can kind of see it's a very tall knife, even though it is small, very chunky. All right, now we can jump into my thoughts and impressions. So, action on this one. Very stout detent. Do you hear those clicks? Listen to these clicks. It has a very stout detent. This is a pass round knife, but it did come in centered. It does have a very good edge from the factory, very surprising edge. I don't know who the OE is on this. They did do some relief cutting on the inside, a little hard to see here. Let's bring that light out here to help with that. So you can see there's relief cuts on the inside of both scales there. And it's still heavy. And again, I think that has to do with the thickness of the knife more than anything. You got titanium. I don't know if I checked the hardware. So steel hardware throughout, titanium scales. You have a titanium pocket clip, titanium bolsters, and a titanium back spacer. I really like this one. It's a crystallized titanium. Very cool how they did that. It's almost like they did an acid etch and then stone washed it and then did a light polish on top and then anodized. It's really pretty the way that that comes out. Ergonomically, I must admit I am super surprised. I'm 3.5 fingers on this little fifth pocket carry. They got a little bit of jimping back here, so if you needed to use the chisel, that's how I view that. Jimping is for the chisel there. For the push cuts, you have a little bit of an edge here. It is very comfortable. It has good lock bar access. When I saw this, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it would be that good of a lock bar access. It's locking up a little early on this one. I would probably call that, I don't know if you'll be able to tell there. Trying to get the lighting to hit it. I'd call that like 25%, but plenty of good lockup. And truth be told, if you have this one in hand, you're going to be on the frame lock. So if you're pulling out and you hit it, it's it should be okay. Your hand's going to kind of do a good job locking that in position, but hopefully you're not doing any heavy cutting with it in a place where you can't be safe with it anyway. Um, it is it's got a crown spine, really good thumb studs. It has a decent geometry for being such a little chunker. I was pretty impressed when I took it down just to test it. I don't know how many people had this before me, to be completely honest. I didn't check the listing. I just confirmed that it arrived. But let me go ahead and kick it down to the garage for the cut test so you guys can check that out. Right, we're in the garage with the chisel, my sizzle. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Not quite sure what to expect with this one, to be honest with you. Hey, that's a pretty bitey, good edge. And I'm just curious. Never quite sure how to cut with these. Nice. Hey, that's pretty good. It is a pass around. I can't do a ton of cutting. Ooh, it feels a little thick. Yeah, it's still a little thick. It's a little thick. It's not awful, though. It's not awful. And if you had to chisel push into something, it would work well. And then the Q-tip is good on both of those. So very small sample size, guys. Not going to do a ton. You know, unfortunately, it wasn't enough cutting to really push or do anything crazy. It's surprisingly sharp, and due to its chunky nature, like, it's surprisingly comfortable. Like, I can't believe it. I just thought for sure this was gonna suck. Let me kick it back up to the desk. So we're back from the garage from the cut test, and honestly, truth be told, it cut very well. Good factory edge. The geometry on it seemed fine. It's not something that I would say would be a primary knife that you're going to hard use or heavy use, but for a fifth pocket carry, if you wanted something a little different, a little chunky, you can throw this in the pouch. And it's going to be comfortable because look how much scale there is. There's just so much material to grip onto this one, guys. I really am surprised. I'm just really surprised by this one. It's a cool little piece for sure. You have bearings in the pivot. It shakes shut as well as it can for being such a small knife. I feel like they did all they could with the thickness to take advantage of the height to make this thick. It's not going to be a guillotine. It's not going to fall shut. Doesn't matter how low you come on here. It's only going to drop down. That actually hit my thumbnail a little bit. It's only going to drop down to the flipper tab, which has good jimping. Very, very good for the light switch. It has just an impressive detent for its size. It's very snappy. If you are into these small knives, this is a really cool one. It is coming in at $199 on White Mountain Knives. I do have a couple alternative recommendations. If you're looking at fifth pocket and slip joint, I have to throw out there the modern traditional QSP Hedgehog. This one is the traditional pocket knives exclusive. This is going to be with the Gecko carbon fiber. It is going to have titanium bolsters, and it's going to have a hollow ground N390, which is going to be a little bit better of a slicer, but also a knife I wanted to recommend because it very much resembles the 3.5 finger grip. It has the contoured scale, so it's got a full ergonomic grip on it. It does have a very performance-oriented hollow ground. I would call this modified Wharncliffe. So detail cutting on it is going to be possible with the pinch grips. You're going to be able to use this to finagle and get into tight spots on packages with detailed works, and it's going to detailed cuts, and it's going to be a little bit less, 145. Very, very good materials. I like this one a lot. If you want something that's a little bit more of a more traditional type of folding knife, but still has a little bit of flair to it, that's where I'm going to go back to the Wee Hyphen. This is a fifth pocket carry for me, companion carry. I can get it into some pouches, but not all of them, and it actually clears with way more room if I use those pocket organizers that I like from Art Company, like the Rambler XL. It's going to be a little bit longer. This one's going to be more of a full 4-finger grip. Hollow ground, 20 CV, very good cutter, a little bit more cutting edge than what you're finding on the Titan. And it's got a little bit of character to it. Maybe not quite as much character, arguably, as the Titan, but I would say it definitely is. And I would say this one here, whew, as it breaks in, I forgot how smooth that is going to be really smooth. And you got some options with both of these knives. But If you like small knives, if you're limited to small knives, if you love chisels, if you want something for the pouch or the fifth pocket, something a little bit different to add to the collection, this is really way more interesting than I thought it was going to be. I'm very surprised, because looking at it, looking in the videos, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be for me. Is this something that I really would be into, something that would really be me? And getting it in hand really surprised me, guys. Really did surprise me. I didn't expect to like this, if I'm being completely honest. And the little guy kind of changed my mind. I think it's kind of cool. I think this would be a sweet little fifth pocket pouch carry. I'm at the point where I'm repeating myself now. Let me know what you think about the Titan down in the comments below. And is there other things that are more comparable to the Titan that you like more, that's more affordable, a little bit different styling? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear back about that one, but this is really cool. I am so glad I got to check it out. Shout out to everyone out there that likes, uses the links, comments, and is subscribed. I appreciate all the support. Special shout out to my members. You guys are going to get that early access. You know it. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Bang gang. Until next time, peace.